Hello, I'm Steph from iDriver Classic, and today I'm at one of my favourite events of the year. It's the NEC Classic Motor Show, which happens every November here in Birmingham in the West Midlands in England. Now, this car caught my eye. It's probably not my favourite at the show, but I thought it was a perfect starting piece to start with for this weekend, because of course this show always falls on Remembrance Day weekend, and it's so lovely to see the MMOC, which I'm a member of, celebrating it with this fantastic traveller. We'll have a quick look around their stand, and then I'm going to show you some of the other real standout vehicles for me. We may not get to speak to many people, but I wanted to show you some of the stuff here, so that if you're coming down this weekend and you're on limited time, you've got a few key starting points to get a bit of a flavour for what's here. And also, if you're on the fence and you're watching it, it'll help you decide whether you want to come or not. Come on, let's have a look round.
You'll hear me make mention later on that I haven't really included the more popular cars that you tend to see at shows, but I wasn't going to skip the Morris Minor Owner Club, because it was Morris Minors that got me into classics. It was a Morris Minor that started iDriver Classic. So really, I wasn't going to miss out this stand, because this is why I'm here. This is why I love cars. It's 75 years this year of the Morris Minor. There's never been a better time to join. There's a main club, there's the young members stand, there's an incredible amount of parts. If you've been itching to get a classic, come down and have a look at the Morris Minor Owner Club, because just like me, this might be the car that hooks you into classics. If it looks like I'm obsessed with Morris, well, I am. And one of the things that I love about the world of Morris are the Morris commercial vehicles. Now, you might have seen that truck, first of all, in my National Rally video. The lady that owns that seems to take it everywhere. It's got some absolute mileage on it. But as well as that, you've got a selection of other vehicles that they've brought down for this show. Now, for me, these are incredibly special, because when you think about the life of a commercial vehicle, it's not easy like a car that's owned by you or I that we can perhaps pop away for winter. These are vehicles which grafted through rain, snow, sleet, all the grit on the roads, and yet somehow they're still here today. And as well as that, you've got to think these are vehicles which disappear quite quickly. Therefore, getting parts isn't the easiest job in the world. So you'll find that pieces have been fabricated, plan Bs have been found. So to see them here is, in my opinion, rather special. And it's lovely to see what the club have pulled out. And you need to come down and see it yourselves. There is a really cracking lineup.
Okay, the next thing that I definitely think you need to see this year is a group that have only recently started in the last couple of years. It's the Women Drivers Social Club. I'm a member, and it's a really positive, fun group that brings together women in automotive, and you know what, I've made some really good friends through it actually. And so they've got a selection of cars. There's one still to come, which is on its way, coming all the way from Wales. But other than that, we've got this incredible 1960s Mercury Comet, and as you can see, it's got a bit of patina, but I love all of that, and I love the shape and the styling, and it's a really rare bit of kit. So it's quite an exciting thing to have it here, so don't miss it. So it's tucked all the way. I think are we in Hall 5? We're in Hall 4. We're in Hall 4. So make sure you come and have a look at that. But then as well as that, the missing car, which will be a mystery for you to see. You've also got, well, you've got some chairs that are done with pedals, and apparently you can put some weight on them. You've got this incredible MGA sausage. Well, it's called the MGA sausage. And then you've got Katie's Scirocco, which I think we've put in videos before. Now let's go and see what else we've got. I'm always so busy when I come to the NEC Classic Car Show that I don't always get to see everything that's here. And these are cars that I've not always been able to give enough attention to, and I don't know enough about. So look, you two are the experts. Can I hand over to you, and can you tell us about these cars, please?
Yeah, I'll make a start. So what we've got here, with a Honda S800 Sports Car Club, but these cars aren't just S800s. The S800s are the car on the end, the far end there, the race
green
car,
one, yeah.
and the grey one here. The two cars in the middle are the Honda N600 and the Honda Z, which Alan could certainly tell you more about than I can. I can certainly tell you about the S800s.
So Alan, tell us about this delightful orange car.
It's a 600cc air-cooled twin. They came over between 1970 and 1972, which is the same as this is the saloon version, this is the coupe. We only ever got them in orange, but the cars came in different colours, the saloon versions came in different colours. Yeah, there's only 7 of them left in the UK.
Yeah.
I've got 3. so I'm a bit of a serial restorer. I've done 5 so far, and this is lucky. This was going to get scrapped, so I got this as a pile of bits and a bare shell, so I've rebuilt it. So it's that. This is an N600. It's basically the same engine. Everything else is the same. 600cc, air cooled. That's just a more saloon version for a family. There's more room in the back. This one's fine if you want to put 2 legless dwarfs in the back. There's not a lot of room, but the front is fine. But there's more room in the back of these. These are much better.
So I guess my question to you would be, is handing the mic back.
Okay.
We're doing a bit of showing of the mic because we've only got 2. How many of these are there left, and what's the entry price point? So if you're watching this and you thought that looks like a project I would love to take on, how much would you be looking to spend for a project, say?
So the S800 is really rare, so the ones on the end here. We think there's possibly 200 in the country. We don't know. We've got a bit of an amnesty going at the moment. We're asking people to come forward and tell us if they have a car or they know of a car, trying to get the registrations. So if anybody's watching here and they know of an S800, let us know, because we're trying to pinpoint how many have survived. But S800s at auction, we've been watching that over the last few weeks. A coupe is going for about 20 to 25,000.
Really?
And the convertible, the more desirable convertible, which we'll have here next year, because I have one of those I'll be bringing next year. They go for 30 plus, depending on the state.
Gosh, project level.
Yes, yeah.
Really? So
built up. So if you was to
built up.
try and find an untidy one that needed restoring, be aware that parts are rare and specialist and expensive. But if you want to tackle that and you like a challenge, you could probably pick one up between £7,000 and £15,000 that needs tidying up.
So it's quite a considered purchase then. So if you were in Japan, are there more of them over there? Or
I would say there's more in
similarly
Japan,
rare?
yeah, very popular in Japan. They love their Kai cars, as these are, the small mini cars, and these are very, very niche over there now. Real cult following in Japan, and it's where a lot of the specialist parts come from now.
Oh, that's cool. Well, thank you for bringing them, and well done for all the hard work, because as we know, putting together a car is not easy when the bits are rare. So well done to you, because honestly, even just doing one can finish you off. Doing several, you're a man of steel, absolute steel. Well done. Well, good luck. Have a great weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you very
I
much.
will add before we wrap up then, if
Yeah.
anyone's coming to the NEC show, come and find us, because the car on the end is really rare. Nobody's raced an S800 for nearly 30 years in the UK, and I'm going to be taking that out to race next year, because I'll come and have a look at it before I write it off. Yeah.
Where are you racing it?
All over the country, so it'll be
Are
classic
you?
car racing all over the country. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, I'll look out for you then.
Yeah, lovely. Thanks
you
a
very
lot.
much.
Cheers.
Now, I'll be the first person to moan about scarcity of parts, but I don't own a Japanese car. These seem to be far worse to get parts for than mine, which makes it truly marvellous that there are so many here. And this is a bit of a new thing really, because in previous years you haven't seen a massive expanse of JDM cars, but this year I know that the team that put on the NEC have been reaching out for more of the newer classics, the sort of 80s, 90s stuff. So it's quite refreshing to see a good dose of JDM here. So if you are coming down, this is just a mere taste. There are a lot of different JDM cars here of different ages. Some of them a bit newer than maybe I would have put on the stand, but look, I'm not one of the organisers. So some really great cars here, some really rare stuff actually. A lot of people were still setting up, so we weren't able to have a conversation, but this is what you can expect to see.
When I saw this, I had to stop. So I'm at the Historic Marathon Rally Group stand. Now, I really like this, and I always make a beeline for this at every show, because what they do is they work tirelessly throughout the year. They host different events. They've got one at Gaydon in April next year, celebrating the 1974 World Cup Marathon cars. But this caught my eye because this Dolomite Sprint, I love the livery on it, I love the sun strip, and I thought I'm going to get some pictures of this one because I might use this to slightly inspire where I take Tina next, because I just love how they've done it. It looks so good. But anyway, these aren't replicas, these are real cars that have been used in the World Cup rallies, and I love coming to see them because you can come and chat to people. So if you are coming down, come and make this one of your beeline points. It doesn't always have a massive banner or anything like that, so you need to come and find it. It's still again in Hall 4, and they've just got some really great cars, great history, and every time I come to this stand I learn so much, not only about the cars but about racing as well, because it's one of my weaker points and it's something that I am definitely interested in. So if you are as well, make your way down.
We talked about how it's hard to keep a Japanese car on the road. It's hard to keep a Cresta on the road as well. So to see 3 of different ages, all here in their pink livery, is rather splendid. I love this little display. This is probably one of my favourite stands, despite being one of the smallest. Now here's another really decent, interesting display of vehicles that you probably wouldn't see elsewhere unless you went to a specialist show. So what they've done is they've got all the Viva groups together, so that's the Vauxhall Viva, to celebrate 60 years of the Viva, and they've got such a varied, interesting lineup of Vivas of different ages, of different types. So you've got the pop top, you've got the van, and they've brought them all together and they've put them all on display together. Now I was here having a good look round for about 15-20 minutes because I do quite like a Viva, and they are incredibly rare, incredibly hard to see at shows nowadays. So to see all of these together, it must have been hard work putting that all together. Now you're probably going to have realised that I've skipped over a lot of the popular stuff like your Minis, your Beetles, because I wanted to show you some of the reasons to come here, because you can go and see a Mini at most car shows, but stuff like this takes such planning to get everybody together, tracking down all the cars. This for me is why I enjoy coming to the NEC. I enjoy coming to see the rare stuff. I enjoy chatting to clubs, finding out more about these vehicles that you never get to see anywhere. And some of this rare stuff as well. I mean, look at this Trident. You're not going to get to see this at your typical car show. And to have it here and to see it amongst all the other micro cars feels like quite a special thing, actually. And it adds value for money to the ticket. It's not really my area of specialism or something that I do a lot with, but there's also a lot of American cars here. So if you're into American metal, you will find you've got these guys, you've got the NSRA. There is a fantastic selection which seems to get bigger every year. There are also, bizarrely, I don't think I've really seen these before, but they've got some hearses on display as well this year. These are just 2 of a few that they've got out this year, so well done.
I'm sure some of you already know this, but my partner Fred's got a Land Rover Defender, an older one, and so we do a lot of off-roading and we go to 4x4 things, and so that's a big part of our lives together and we have a lot of fun. So coming here, it's been really nice to see a selection of 4x4s, and Fred's coming down on Sunday, so this is definitely where I'm going to be sending him. And if I needed to signpost you at home, if you're watching this and thinking, yeah, I want to go and have a look at some of the Discoveries, I want to come and have a look at some of the military stuff, the best way to find this section is to head for the iconic auctions, and then it's just slightly further in Hall 2. Because I know that things get really busy and it can be really hard to find stuff. There's a really good selection, so you've got a lot of this, I would say, more modern-y sort of stuff. And then you've got your series Land Rovers behind as well. So a really good selection. I'm probably going to spend the next 20 minutes here having a good little nestle around. But yeah, if you're coming, come and have a look. There's some really nice stuff. There's an awful lot of commotion going on behind me, but this is the M25 Classic stand, and I thought I was brave for doing the Marina, but there are going to be some seriously brave souls coming out to see these 2 cars, and they are for sale. And do you know what? There'll be somebody out there that will take these cars on and do them, and my goodness, you must have to be a brave soul. But look at them. I just think, you know, for me, these are the bits of the show that I absolutely love. So remember, this is Hall 4 as well. Come and have a look at these, because you know what, it's really good going to see shiny cars, but actually some of the fun is coming to see stuff like this that's been ragged out of barns, and the guys from M25 Classics can tell you the story. I'm not going to bother them right now because, as you can see, they've got far more pressing things going on than having a chat with me. So remember, that's Hall 4 M25 Classic. I don't know how cross everybody would be if I said that my car of the show perhaps wasn't a classic, but this caught my eye. And Wayne, you are the man to be asking the questions to. So Wayne, what are we doing here? What is this?
Well, this is the TR register stand, and this is a new concept car that has kind of given a rebirth, if you like, to the Triumph TR name in its 70th year. 70 years ago, this car behind me, which is the Jabeka land speed record breaking TR2, broke a speed record for a production car under 2 litres, and it really set the Triumph TR brand on its route to stardom. It proved Standard Triumph as a sports car builder. And fast forward to 2023, And a London-based design company called Makina was celebrating their 25 years of making amazing designs. They're a company that has been quite in the background but wanted to bring themselves forward into the limelight, and this is what they've done it with. It is the TR25, 25 for their 25 years in design.
Yeah.
Makina's concept of how the Jabeka TR2, launched in 1953, might look as an EV today.
And how do you feel about this? Because I know you're a petrol head. What are your thoughts about electric vehicles? How do you feel about this sitting under the Triumph name?
I'm a big fan of this for the simple reason that the moment this car was launched and the public started to talk about it, journalists were ringing me up who had never written about a Triumph before,
Yeah.
asking, what's the history of Triumph TRs? Tell me more about
Brilliant.
it. And it's really opened up the whole world really to the story of the old cars as well as this concept. And BMW own the name Triumph now, and they did this with their blessing, with their support, which is really good to see
That is
a
good.
car manufacturer using an old legacy name like that. So really, it's part of our story already. You know, whether it'll ever go into production, we don't know, but it is now part of the history of these cars going back 70 years.
So what's been we talk a lot about young people not being as interested in older cars as perhaps the older generation are. How are they receiving this? Have you had a lot of excitement? Have you had a lot of questions? What's been the response? And do you think there'll be a halo effect for the older Triumph cars?
I think we're already seeing that. Just look at it, it's absolutely stunning. It's a
It
concept
is.
car, so it has to be a little bit mad. That's what concept cars are about,
Yeah.
right? They're about challenging our thoughts. And this is going to be on children's bedroom walls. It's on mine, and I'm just a big kid. So I think this is the idea, really. You use modern EVs, modern design, but hark back to our transport heritage. And in that way, you open up this world. Because I don't think it's that young people aren't interested. I think it's really that they're probably, if they don't come from a family background that was brought into it, they probably don't know how to get into this world, and cars like this break down the barriers a bit.
Do you think we could be looking at a future James Bond's car? Because I feel like it's got a real James Bond energy
Yeah.
to it.
Well, only if they cast me in the role, and then I can drive it.
I don't know if you're on the shortlist, right? I think it's a cool car. I think I like how much of the inspiration from the heritage it takes. You can feel Triumph coming through it, but it's something unique in its own way as well. And I quite like that, because I don't like it when they just completely rip something off, or they take an old car and they just put an electric unit into it, because that lacks some imagination. This at least brings some imagination to the table. It's something different, and yet there's a Triumph badge
Yeah.
that we know.
Yeah, I know people will probably say, well, it looks nothing like a TR2. It doesn't need to.
It's not
We've got
supposed to.
TR2s
Yeah.
already. They're here, and we're protecting them and keeping them on the road.
Yeah.
This is an idea of what a TR concept in the future might look like. And you know, you look at the design, they've done great things with the Triumph badge here. They've picked up on the style of the headlamps,
Yeah.
following the lines back. You can
clever.
see the design cues. The interior is amazing, brilliant steering wheel, and you know, they're referencing the land speed car, so it's closed off on one side. And it's really just saying that all of the things that we love about historic vehicles, actually we don't need to leave that behind as we move into the new world of EVs. And I think it's an exciting world. It's an exciting world that you can support without necessarily needing to take historic vehicles off the road, you know?
And it doesn't feel bloated, like a lot of modern EVs just feel so bloated and characterless. This has so much character. How big is it, do you know?
That big. Big enough. It's certainly bigger than any
Yeah.
TR ever built. And of course it has to be a certain dimension, because of course with the battery packs there, you've got to
Yeah.
get your centre of gravity right.
Yeah.
And of course we're seeing on the road now cars are much bigger than they ever were before. But you park this in line with all of the other exciting EV sports cars we've seen this year, and there've been a few, MG Cyberster, the
Yeah.
Lotus. There's a movement to bring some of the passion that we enjoy in old sports cars into the modern vehicle movement, and I think that's really exciting.
This is definitely my favourite though of all of them. This, as I walked, I stopped and I thought, I need to go and
Yeah,
look at that, because I
yeah.
knew vaguely what it was because I've seen some of your stuff, but I didn't know enough. Now, for people that are visiting the show, I've heard a little rumour that you've got somebody on the stand on, is it Saturday, Sunday?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll have one of the designers from the team.
Brilliant.
Jordan's here Friday and Sunday, Yalim's here on Saturday. I'll be interviewing them 2:30 on Friday and 1:30 Saturday, Sunday. So you can come and meet the guys who are behind this car, hear more about their vision, how they came up with some of the designs that it has, and also whether we might see it in production in the future.
Well, thank you very much for your time. So I know you've been really busy, and so if you are coming, remember this is Hall 4 that we're in, and you're looking for the TR register flag banner to come and see this. If you are coming, don't miss this. It's so cool, and it's something that will stick with you. Surprise! This is Tina, and Tina is done. Can you believe it? Well, there's a few little bits and pieces to do. But anyway, the big surprise is, and it was a surprise for me as well, is that Kev did all my paintwork and sorted all my little problems before I came to collect her for the NEC. And he said she's done, so you can enjoy her and you can drive her there. And I'm trying not to be emotional, but I feel a bit emotional because Kev can't make it this weekend. And I'm really sad about that. And so Kev, if you're watching, thanks for doing this, because you'll never know how grateful I am, and you'll never know how much fun we had doing the car together. And it was one of the best times ever working on a car, because we just had laughs every day, and every time I look at this car I won't think about all the stuff I learned, I'll think about all the fun I had as well. And I'm really excited to show her to you this weekend. I hope that you can make it, and if you can't, that's okay, because we're going to do a video showing you and take you out for a drive. There's a couple of little bits and pieces I want to just finalise before I do the final reveal video, if that's okay. But overall, this is what she looks like. For me, she's perfect because we hit the goal. She's gone from rusty to roadworthy, and I'm really excited to show you her. We've also got Matt's Rover, and we've got Ian's lovely Giselle here. And if you are coming to see us, come and find us in Hall 3A. We've got merch for sale, we've got cars to show you, and we want to hear your stories. Now that's it from me today. I need to go home, edit this video, and have a bath because I am tired. It has been a long month, and so thank you everybody. Thank you to all the people that gave me great advice. Thank you to all the people that sold me panels that they might have been keeping for their own car. Big thank you to Kev for all his support, so much more than anybody will ever know. And also thanks to Freddie, my partner, who has been enormously supportive, especially when I've been really upset at times or worried. And yeah, it's been good. I'm really looking forward to seeing you. I hope you can all make it this weekend. I know it's not the cheapest weekend out, but you know what? There is so much good stuff here. We've barely scratched the surface. And yeah, it is good value for money, especially if you get the train, you don't have to pay parking. Right, that's it from me. I'm waffling on. Until we meet again, take care and drive safely.